And now the boys on the hill, Slim Marshall, 5,000 watts, Thomas Black,
What's
and
happening?
again, your boy, Ralph Jeezy. What it do,
Yeah,
fella?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
What's up? The baseball gods allowed us to be together once again.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Yes, sir. We got a good show in store for y'all tonight. Our third episode. We're getting really good feedback from our viewers and our listeners. They're really following our show. They like what we do. Always appreciate the kind words and messages. We're gonna keep this thing rolling, boys.
How y'all
Yeah,
doing,
so
man? How's everything going?
Going good, going good.
All right, man, it's cool. Need this weather to go on here and get springish.
Yeah.
Man, don't hold your breath, man. It's gonna snow next week for us. I already know it. I already know it. It be 80 today, man. It's gonna be 40 in about 2 days and some rain.
Right.
the weather where I'm at is by 80 degrees, so I'm happy right now.
Oh wow.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Good weather means baseball season is heating up. And this
Yeah.
past weekend, we had a really good slate of games. Some mixed results along the way. Some teams took it on the chin. Some conferences really took it.
It took it on more than just the chin, homie. Let me tell you
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah.
Some got that steel toe boot to them, but always
Around these
baseball.
waters, we call
Another
it
day.
swag.
Got sweat.
Yeah, several teams.
Yeah.
Believe that.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna start it off talking about the HBCU Baseball Classic that featured FAMU and Grambling State, who are now in the same conference this year. That classic was played over the weekend in Gwinnett, Georgia. It's actually called the Ralph Garr Bill Lucas HBCU Baseball Classic. Ralph Garr was a Florida A&M. He was a Grambling alum. He's in the Atlanta Braves Hall of Fame. Longtime Atlanta Braves player, longtime Atlanta Braves coach for several decades. Longtime scout too. And Bill Lucas, FAMU alum, also an Atlanta Braves Hall of Famer. A tidbit on him was he was the first African American general manager in Major League Baseball history.
Oh man.
He spent more than 20 years in the Braves organization, moving from Milwaukee to Atlanta. So yeah, like this classic had a lot of historical significance behind it because of the men who was named after of. We're gonna talk about the action on the field, and Florida A&M took the 2-game series from Grambling in our own 5,000 watts was watching. And so Watts, man, what did you see out
Reporting
there?
live.
Yeah, reporting live there.
Woodchuck the Woodchuck reporting
Yeah.
live.
Yeah. I had the opportunity to go to the first game of the series. It was game time was at 7 p.m. It was a great atmosphere, great facility, very nice facility, cool Ray Field. Hopefully they bring another classic there. But FAMU won the series 3-0. They out hit Grambling, of course, 29 with Grambling only allowing 10 runs. I think the highlight was the pitching staff of FAMU right now. They started gave them good quality innings. All of them went over 5 innings.
Wow.
You had DJ Watkinson that allowed 5 hits with 9 strikeouts. You had Colleen Fox that had allowed 8 hits with only 3 strikeouts, and then you had Hunter Valles that allowed 4 hits with only 6 strikeouts. But I think the standout player was their first baseman, Grant Rowell. He actually hit about 636 for the whole series with again
Wow.
6 hits with 11 at bats. He was on fire. I say FAMU squad looks legit. They was able to hold off Gremlin's high firepower offense. I think that was the biggest thing. Our buddy, the catcher at Gremlin, man, he kind of reminded me of Pud. I had the opportunity to sit back there and just watch him sit behind him, man. The man,
Like Garcia.
yeah, Garcia got the quick
Really
feet,
tough.
man, and he got a hose, man. He was sitting there, he was just throwing on the knees, man. He ain't even care. I think he committed 2 errors. He was trying to be aggressive and throw a run out at second, and allowed of course, let the run come in. But they had a bunch of errors. Grambling did, but FAMU overall looked like a very solid, tough squad coming out the gate early. I think they probably is the hottest team right now in the SWAC, based off the first 2 weeks of the season. But it was a very good series. Great exposure for HBCU baseball. I saw some camera people out there. I thought they may have been recording game. I was trying to see if we can get that feed as well, but I think it was just only for the Braves organization or something. But
But you
yeah,
got some shots and you got some videos though. We're gonna be
yeah,
posting up after the
yeah,
show.
yeah,
Some of your
yeah,
experience.
yeah. Very good feel. Then in the background of the ballpark, they got some condominiums and everything. I'm sitting here like, man, this is a dope part to play at, man. It's real nice. I know they laid out the red carpet for these young men. It's real good.
So watch, man. Based on what you saw this weekend, man, what fam you looking like? They're gonna be a contender this year in the SWAC.
I say, well, every team during the season hits a rough patch. Uh, so I think they may in the middle of the season they may hit a rough patch, but get stronger towards the end of the season. So I really think they may be a contender. Uh, Going back to opening week when all the HBCUs went in New Orleans. So I think coming out the gate, they are looking real strong as a new addition to the SWAC.
Now I got a question for you, Watts. Do you think it was more of FAMU's pitching or Gremlin's, lack of firepower at the plate?
Man, I don't say pitching, man, because Watkins, man, I was sitting behind the plate, man. This man had a mean slider. Now I say mean, and then he come up and in on that was his out pitch, man. He went high and in on. He was challenging him. Couldn't nobody catch up with him. I wish they had the radar gun out there so we see what speed they were throwing and everything. But man, he was bringing it, man. I think he was literally shutting down Gremlin's bats out the gate. He set the tone for the whole series.
All right.
Wow. Hey, but we have been getting some good pitching performances here in the SWAC earlier this far. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Most of the time early in the season, pitchers kind of ahead of batters anyway when the season starts.
True.
So the weather gets a little warmer, the bats heat up a little bit, you're not as cold standing around. But normally in the beginning of the season, pitchers normally have an advantage, or they come out the gate playing a little better than hitters, in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. It was chilly out there the first game, so Gremlin bats may just been as cold as it was out there, man, because they was swinging the flies.
Especially throwing inside, they didn't want no piece of that. Their hands be broke off.
And then he throwing at your chin, and then he go come with a slider, man. Come on, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? Like, yeah, but he was definitely bringing, man.
Yeah, FAMU is 5-3. They lead the SWAC East, 2.5 games ahead of Jackson State. And they were not the only Black College baseball team to have a series this weekend. There were an assortment of games this weekend, some within conference, a lot of them out of conference. As I said at the top of the show, a lot of mixed results. You see on the screen right there, a lot of SWAC schools in particular did not fare very well, with the exception of Alabama State and FAMU. So boys, looking at this right here, man, like it wasn't a very good weekend but for maybe a few schools. Like, what is your assessment of this?
A lot of long road trip home after that.
Yeah, a lot of road trips.
I'm talking about someone might have to get off the bus and hit the line for running after those.
Yeah, but you got to think about it. It's just the second weekend of the year. Still trying to find, some teams still probably trying to find what guys are gonna play.
Well,
it's a combination of things. I don't think it's a talent thing. I don't think it's talent at all. I think it's just more so of it being a situation where coaches are still trying to find the right combination of guys.
Yeah.
You know,
because you don't know how certain people are going to act in certain situations. Like, especially in the beginning of the season, you might have a freshman coming in. He might have been the man where he was at. You know, somebody throwing that heat high inside slider, he might not be ready for. You know,
right?
Who knows? But it's gonna take a minute. You know, you got to figure out who the dogs. You got to figure out who gonna fight against adversity. You know.
Yeah, them practice all stars, man. That's what we call them, man.
Right.
Practice all.
Yeah, man. Like we all played, and some of us coached at the college level. So, like, how long does it take for like squads to kind of get acclimated to the season and get going and try to reverse some of these results we've been seeing the first couple of weeks of the season?
I give them about 4 weeks. By that time, you got a good assessment of your team, and you know what arms you have in the bullpen. You know what plays go be aggressive at the plate. You know if you got to play small ball starting out to warm up the bats. I mean, I think you give them a good week. I think everybody start rolling.
I say by the start of conference play,
Yeah.
you should have an idea.
Right. Yeah.
You should have an idea of what your rotation is gonna be, your bullpen guys, your closers, especially with your lineup. What guys are gonna be able to go in certain situations, especially if you have some two-way guys.
Yeah.
Like how you gonna utilize them late game situations if he's a reliever or a starter. You know, by conference play, you should have an idea of who your Jimmys and Joes are.
So the first few weeks are going to be more like experimentation with your rotation, with your bullpen, and with your lineup. See how guys fit in, see how they can contribute to the team. When you get in the conference season, I would suppose that's when you're going to have your set lineups, your set rotation. You're going to find out who your number one, number two guys are in the rotation. You're going to find out who your middle relievers are and who your closers are. So these first couple of weeks, it may be a little ugly, but teams are just trying to figure stuff out right now.
Right.
Now, for me as a player, you know, as batters, you know, when you look at these box scores, you know, when I go through the box scores, I look at, you know, how the pitcher was pitching then versus do you see any walks? Are they seeing pitches? You know, early in the season, you know, you got a lot of hype around your team. You know, a lot of teams might be over aggressive trying to prove that they are what they are on paper, you know, instead of just, you know, letting the game come to them. So, you know, I don't see a lot of walks, you know, throughout all these games. So I just think, you know, a lot of players need to, you know, I guess see some pitches, get used to the game, especially freshmen or JUCO transfers. I don't care who you are, where you come from. JUCO is different from D1. You know, it's a different ball game. So, you know, hopefully we see some improvement throughout some of these conferences, because these out of conference games, man, you know that's your measuring stick. You know, no matter how much you get beat or how bad you get beat, still a measuring stick. You gotta take it for what it's worth. Just be ready for the conference games.
Yeah, one team that had a really good weekend was Coppin State. They actually set an NCAA record for triples in a game with 6. So they played a lot of small ball. They was able to have a decent weekend, and that says a lot about their ball club. But they were able to fight like that and play good fundamental baseball over the weekend. Not only do that, but like really make an imprint on the game by hitting a bunch of triples. That shows how team speed. That shows a lot of good hitting too. To be able to hit gaps, hit balls down the line, put pressure on the defense, especially in the outfield, to make good throws back to the infield. Because, you know, when we play, like, it was always emphasized, hit the ball, make the defense make a play. So if they got 6 triples in the game, that means they put a lot of pressure on the opposing defense.
No, that's the outfield taking bad angles.
That's true.
What that is.
That's what that is.
I wonder how many backs we seen running to the outfield. That's bad angles.
That's not necessarily true. It may be part of it, but you know, you got to give credit to the batter. Get a triple.
All right.
It's harder to hit a triple than a home run.
Are these like little league triples or just like regular triples?
Well, I didn't get to see the game live, so
right.
There's no way I can tell you.
we're gonna trust the official score on these. So
Right.
Right.
So yeah,
Oh,
man, and
oh.
our very own Thomas Black, he made a bold prediction last week
Mm-hmm.
that Alabama State would take its series against UT Martin, and the Swami himself, our
Yep.
No, not
FanDuel
Swami.
king, was right.
He was right. He was
Mm-hmm.
right.
We're
Well,
gonna
I
let
mean,
Thomas like gloat for a minute here.
Yeah,
Whatever
let
you
you
no,
want to
go
say,
ahead, bro.
man, feel free, man.
no, and
Yeah.
it's not a gloat thing, man. It's you know, it's like it's almost like playing fantasy football. You look at the matchups and the types of teams. Traditionally, you know, UT Martin, you know that you know they are okay, but I think Alabama State is an above average team, and I believe
Mm-hmm.
that they got the pitching staff to go in and be able to go head up with anybody as long as they got their dogs pitching. So I believe in Alabama State as a team to play outside of conference games is pretty tough. Just like I mean, he thought a lot of teams was, but there's one team that I think is going to be a sleeper this year. I've always said that from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Alabama State is a
Mm-hmm.
team to watch. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, and especially UT Martin. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm from around the area. You know,
Mm-hmm.
UT Martin, you know, they okay, but they haven't really just, you know, beat the pants off a lot of people, if that you want
Gotcha.
to use that
Mm-hmm.
analysis. So, you know, the close game, I was always believing in Alabama State to be able to be more athletic as a team to, you know, steal bases, get extra base hits, you know,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, it was a guess, educated guess, as I want to call it, an
Mm-hmm.
educated guess.
Gotcha.
I'm
Yeah.
just glad they came through for me. So
So Ralph passed me along a score involving Alabama State a little while ago. They played Sanford. So Ralph, how did they do?
Mm.
2 weekends in a row.
Oh.
Alabama is this five. This
Mm.
5 runs 2 weeks in a row. They're up 5-1 in the ninth.
oh,
And they lose
Oh.
6-5 to Sanford again this week.
Oh wow. That's scripted.
Yes. 5-1 in the ninth.
Mm.
A hit, a error, another hit, and it just
Mm.
ballooned. And yeah. And I mean,
Mm.
you had a home run by Cedric King, Angel Jimenez. And the crazy part is King hit his home run in the top of the ninth to extend the lead.
dang.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Yeah. Ain't gonna do nothing but that's tough skin. Like you said, Thomas Brown. There's nothing but probably go wake up the beast. Alabama State go probably look back at these losses, these close losses, and later in the season they triumph. They go be on the other end of that win column. So
Yeah, despite that though, like blowing like a couple multi-run leads late in the game against a non-conference opponent can give you confidence to know that hey, like you can hang with these boys. Like
exactly.
we can put it on them. We just
Hmm.
gotta find out in the late innings who our team can rely on to get those last outs of the game and seal these wins. But like to be up multi-runs on a non-conference opponent,
Hmm.
it shows how good of a team they are in the first place to even get in that position.
Yeah.
So not all is lost for them. That's for sure.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
That's true. You just gotta find somebody to slam that door. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. All right. Just a quick recap of the scores from yesterday.
Mm.
Alabama State, they lost 13-7 yesterday to Auburn. Alabama A&M lost a close one to Memphis. But the game that caught my attention was the Kentucky State Ashbury game.
Mm.
It was
That's
a
a football
bomb.
score right there.
Oh
It was
wow.
the bums wow. Yes, the bombs were out,
Oh wow.
and North Carolina A&T won a non-conference game at home against UNC Greensboro, and that was the first time they've beaten them since 2018.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah, that's a big win.
And the game that I was watching very close yesterday was Grambling and Mississippi State. I'm an old boy from Mississippi. Um, as far as I can remember, Mississippi State baseball has always been the premier program in the state of Mississippi. Nobody can deny that. Before Ole Miss ever came along with they Bill Showers in right field, it was Mississippi State baseball in the state of Mississippi. If we just being real about it.
Yeah,
Grambling
Will
got a
Clark.
right. Grambling got a great pitching performance yesterday by Ja'Cory Boudreaux. Pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs. Once they came out, the bullpen held it, but they couldn't get the bats going. So, you know, hats off to them for a hard fought game. You know, as a competitor, you don't want to believe in moral victories, but you know, sometimes you just have to tip your cap and say, "Hey, man, we got something to build on."
Yeah, that's true.
And these are the scores from tonight's games as we started to record. So, like I said, Mississippi Valley had 2 tough losses at Arkansas State back to back. And Lane College with 2 tough 1-run losses to Christian Brothers in a doubleheader today.
Oh man.
Yeah. And Maryland Eastern Shores lost the close game to Georgetown. So, we trying to some good baseball. The mid
Georgetown been winning a few games in a row lately. They've been winning pretty much.
Yeah,
you don't really hear too much about Georgetown though, as far as baseball.
Baseball, that's true.
I mean, you don't hear about anything about Georgetown outside of the Hoyas basketball, but I actually, pay attention to Georgetown now. They actually they do pretty good, man.
Right.
Yeah, coming off the weekend, there were some individual performances that we want to highlight. Some guys at the plate, on the mound, who availed themselves pretty well. You see on the screen here our players of the week. We're going to start with the hitters. Champion Robbins from Savannah State hit .667 with 8 hits, scored 3 runs, and drove in 4 for the Tigers last weekend. Jordan Hamburg of Coppin State hit .500. Now listen to this. Had scored 10 runs and drove in 11 over the weekend.
He's smashing, man.
And he pitched 4 scoreless innings.
Yeah, he's what we call a dual threat baseball player. And then Grant Rowell, we mentioned him at the top of the show. His performance in the HBCU Baseball Classic, hit .636, had 7 hits, scored 3 runs, had 4 RBIs to lead FAMU to a series win over Grambling.
He actually got SWAC Player of the Week.
He did.
Yeah, SWAC Player of the Week.
He did.
Yeah, that's well earned right there.
Yeah, then we're gonna go to the pitchers. We're gonna start with Breon Pooler for Alabama State. Had a good week. 8 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, just 2 hits and 1 walk. Can't do any better than that. Sticking with Savannah State again, Enrico Peel pitched 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 walk in his performance this week. North Carolina A&T's Peyton Weinbarger, 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, 2 hits, and 4 walks. Prairie View A&M's Matthew Crail, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, 3 hits, and 2 walks in his start this week. So a lot of really good performances on the mound, a lot of dominant performances on the mound this week from across the Black College baseball landscape. Which pitchers, guys, and players kind of stood out for you this weekend?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Mr. Pooler. With that performance against UT Martin, he got some run support, 13 runs. And I've been following Enrico Peel on Twitter, and he had 20. His game was 22-0 when basically it was 16-0 when he came out of the game. So he was his conference pitcher of the week, and 3 of those guys, Pooler, Peel, and Weinbarger, were all their conference pitcher of the week. So
Mm-hmm.
great performances to those guys, and also Rowell and Champion were also their conference player of the week. So
Mm-hmm.
good performances.
Very good.
Yes, and some of these guys were not kind of heralded coming into the season. Well, like Peel for Savannah State, Weinbarger for North Carolina A&T, and to come up with these performances kind of shows how deep these conferences are and how deep these teams are. To have guys, especially in midweek games against non-conference opponents,
Mm-hmm.
show out like that, it kind of proves like the talent pool is there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now we're going to transition to a topic we kind of discussed, at least Ralph and I, ahead of the show and prep for it, are the 11.7 scholarships and the impact it has on college baseball and Black college baseball, and kind of like why you see things play out the way they play out across the country. Ralph, is a topic you know a whole bunch about. You study this topic extensively. What is your kind of take on how the scholarship game in Black college baseball kind of impacts everything that we're seeing right now and have seen historically?
Well, you have to first understand that the scholarships weren't always with the 25% of total cost that it is now. That's
Mm-hmm.
new legislation that came in a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was when we played ball, a guy could get $500, or you could just offer.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just get
Yeah.
it straight
Yeah.
up. It
Yeah.
it really wasn't any guideline on saying what a kid could be offered. That's why a lot of times dudes didn't talk about how much money they got because it was starting crazy. You know what I'm saying? Some guy like, why he
Mm-hmm.
getting this? But
Yeah. Why you? Yeah.
um currently, um before the COVID situation came in, it was 11.7 scholarships for 27 players. You can have 35 players total, with the 8 guys receiving a merit type scholarship or some type of academic scholarship where they get no baseball money. But with the COVID year coming in, they went back and adjusted that again. Now they're saying, okay, you can have 32 guys and increased the roster by from the 35, now giving you 5 extra guys to 40. So now they're saying you can sign those 32 guys with these 11.75 scholarships. But now here's the kicker: the 25% that they had to give now can be renegotiated.
Hmm.
So right now with the scholarships, like we was talk all the time, you're gonna have to have a mixture of a coach that's gonna have to know how to have his academic guys,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna have to be real smart on how he breaks those scholarships down and identify guys that, you know, for one, you have to look at the economics of the school. How much does it cost to attend this school? Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a balance if you don't have some type of academic scholarship or some extra monies to come in outside of the loans.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes down to basically you trying to figure out how much debt you're trying to come out of school with. If you're not getting, because you're only getting 25% of total cost. So if it's $30,000 to go to school, you're getting a little over $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you still have to come up with that balance every semester for 4 years. So it 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 pushes some kids to away from baseball, because when I came out of school, I was the first person in my family to be recruited for baseball. Everybody else was either a football player or a basketball player.
Right.
So I was always under the assumption that, I'm going, I can go to college and play baseball. But when
Mm-hmm.
my recruitment started, it was like, yeah, we can offer you tuition. I was like, what you mean tuition? Like everything? And it was like, nah, the cost of actual tuition. And they was like, the tuition is XYZ number of dollars. And I was like, hold up. Junior college told me I got a full scholarship to play baseball. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually signed originally to go to junior college to play.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's the
later
route I
on,
took.
right.
I
But
took the
later
other
on,
route.
I changed my mind and I was like, yo, I'm gonna just go to a 4-year university. So, but like I said, it was the best decision of my life. But yeah, it's we need more scholarships in baseball. It's no reason why you have all Americans in baseball that are sitting around there having to figure out how to pay a balance.
Mm-hmm.
We need the scholarships. We every if it's 40 guys, think about it. Basketball team with like 15 dudes, 15
Yeah.
girls on the team,
Mm-hmm.
full rides.
Mm-hmm.
You got 35 guys on the baseball team, and you gotta let's think about it. That's like taking sandwiches and you gotta split the sandwiches up among the team to feed them.
Yeah.
Now, also think about this though. Now they done changed the rules about the the likeness and all of this stuff. People can actually, you know, I try to tell the kids now, if you got an opportunity to start making some money at an earlier age, you know, if if you got a Twitter following,
Mm-hmm.
start stacking that money up because, you know, if you can make money now, it ain't gonna matter where you go to school because you're gonna have the money to pay for it.
Right.
You
No,
know,
But
that's true.
and now that you mentioned that, Thomas, about the NILs, if a school could come up with some type of you know partnership where they can get help where they're not supposed to help the kids get the NILs, but
Mm-hmm.
if let's just say somebody got creative, and like you said, the NIL may change the game, but we hadn't seen that yet in baseball.
That's true.
You know,
man, NFTs is gonna change the game, man. Trust me on that.
I did see one football player with an NFT.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, man, like the formula is there, man. Like now that they can't really, now the thing is, if the school can come up with it, then everybody be happy. But if the player come up with it, school ain't gonna get none of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the perfect thing about it is, school can have a program, and then the student can have their own program or whatever. Man, it just however you chop it up. If there's a way to implement a program like that, why not? But I just think it's too new for people. Like I read about
Mm-hmm.
the cryptocurrency and all of that. That's gonna change the game, and the sooner programs figure it out or know the people who can get it done for them,
Mm-hmm.
scholarships won't be a problem if they do it right. Because all you looking for is to pay for school, to have the money to pay for school. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you know this player can come in, can sell 100 NFTs or something like that, you know. However, just to on some, sell it to his old high school buddies or family members or something. That's all an investment in that person that we helping you get through school. Don't be at
Mm-hmm.
buy NFT from me versus just giving me $50 when I come in for Christmas. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
And
it's
speaking
it's
of like,
all new. It's all new,
Mm-hmm.
and I just think that once people get a grasp of it and stuff, then I think there's other ways of kids to generate money where scholarships really won't matter if they do it right. They can pick and choose where they want to go play. Okay, I got the money to pay for wherever I want to go. This is whatever I want to do to make me happy.
Mm-hmm.
But schools like the HBCUs can use that to offer kids like, hey, you come to us, we got a program set up. You're gonna have, blah blah or blah blah blah. It can be a recruiting tool that if a kid
Mm-hmm.
knows that I'm gonna come to this school, I'm gonna be generating money, potentially cryptocurrency that's gonna help me in the future. Why not go here versus this school and say, man, we give you some books.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
But
That's
we still had to think about it on a broader scale because yeah, you can implement those type of situations at on the Division 1 level where they had the resources. But let's say on the Division 2 level where they only get 9 scholarships, Division 3 they don't get any, and NAIA is like 12.
mm-hmm.
So the
I mean, the
scholarship
thing about
issue, it's not just a Division 1 issue, it's a baseball issue in
It's true.
general.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about because think about it. I can't. I want to say the kid's name is Cam Collier. This kid is lighting it up, and he goes to Chipola. I'm pretty sure.
I've
um,
seen him.
like he's lighting it up. I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure if the economics of baseball were a little different, he wouldn't be at Chipola.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
or because he's such a high draft pick, him going to junior college may make more sense for him. That's
Yeah.
why baseball is so different when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to how your the route that you take. You know,
I'm
because let's just say like the kid probably getting drafted, but let's just say hypothetically, it's not a kid. He wasn't a draftable kid, and he made the decision. Hey, I got to go to junior college because it'll be cheaper for me and my mom and my family for me to get these 2 years free, and then now let me find somewhere that works for me better. Now I got 2 years to kind of figure some things out because now I'm more educated in the process, for one. And then, hopefully you learn and make some connections and get into a good situation. But the scholarships is not just a Division I issue; it's a baseball issue. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Just the lack of scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So like as players, like how hard it was it like to make that decision? Like I ain't gonna get a full ride. I'm gonna get a certain amount of money. Like should I go and play junior college ball? Or should I go to a 4 year school? Like how do you kind of like make that decision?
well, when I signed to go to junior college, I signed to play two sports. So I signed in like February, which was the earliest was football signing period. So I signed in football signing period. Um, I actually was offered 85% total attendance to go to Alcorn by Coach McGowan. I turned that down to go to Jackson State for tuition because I looked at Jackson State being a better situation for me because I had too many partners going to Alcorn and I wasn't gonna do right. That was a fact. Be for real. Like my whole high school class went to Alcorn. Then three of my high school teammates played at Alcorn that next year. I was like, nah, nah. So I went to Jackson State. It just came down to me was like what was gonna be the best opportunity for me, overall. And and my goal was to always play college baseball. So I was like, hey, I got a chance to go play baseball. So this is my dream, and I deal with that other part of it later.
Yeah, for me, when I went to JUCO route first, everybody had dreams. Me coming out of college, I didn't want to be locked down for 3 years just in case I was good enough to do anything or go anywhere. I wanted to be able to have that option. Well, I might go out here and I might play good. Somebody might want to pick me up. I won't have to go to a 4 year school. I mean, but um, the school I decided to go to, I went to Columbia State. So it was right around the corner. I was able to stay at home. I practically got paid to go play at Columbia State.
They
Like
gonna get the
they
death
gave
penalty.
me
You keep
full
saying
ride. For real, man. But it gave me full ride. I got kept the money from the room and board. Uh, shoot, my coach was my work study. You know why I couldn't turn that down. I was like, and I get to play baseball in my backyard, and we played our high school games on the JUCO field, and it was like one of the best fields in the country, like for real. Like we played on crushed lava rock, bro. Like in infield, like the mule mix and everything that they use at the field, it comes from here, all over the field. It comes from
Wait a
here.
minute, wait a minute. How they get crushed lava rocks
Hey
in Pocono,
man,
Tennessee, man?
I'm telling you, man. No, man. This the company, man. Southern Athletic Fields, man. It's here. I mean, the dude that owned the company. That's my dog, Mr. Marbury. I remember the first time I came to Jackson State. I was on the practice field. I said, "What in the world are we playing on? We practicing on this joint. What is this? I'm not used to this. Big adjustment. You know what I mean? But our playing field in JUCO was like their test dummy. So any kind of new product that they wanted to try out, they put on our field. And they said, man, this is crushed lava rock. And bruh, it was like you slide on it, you wouldn't get dirty, but it was dirt. Now underneath they had the clay and everything, but yeah, it was stupid, man. And that company has probably got dirt on every field I know in the Southwest, Southeast, probably half the major league fields.
Oh wow, shoot, that's crazy.
Shout out to Southern Athletic Fields. They gave Jack State a lot of stuff.
They did. Yeah.
Oh man, I told Coach, I said, hey, they donating. Come on up. Coach drove the truck all the way up here. It was on Christmas holidays. Hey man, he threw rakes. We came back from Christmas. We had rakes, shovels, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's crazy, man. When I was coming up, the only thing I was blessed with, man, they went 50-50 split on baseball and football. Cause Morris Brown was like $23,000. So I was like,
Wow.
I ain't finna do that. But man, I was in your same boat. I was work study for coach. I ain't really do nothing, man. I ain't go no class. I ain't do nothing but party and play ball, man. I just it went out like a flame, man. It was either that or go to the Army, or go to Jackson State. I was like, man, I'm just go to Jackson State, man, because I'm not going to the Army. But yeah, man. Shoot, as far as the quality of fields we played on, man, I played in Morris Brown. They would just bring back the program, so they just had a whole bunch of money. So they man, but the thing is, we were playing on the City of Atlanta fields, man. We played right down in Mosley Park. And you know how that is when you play on City Field, man. We had rocks, everything.
You had rocks
man.
out there,
man.
sir.
We were playing the football field, man. The other end, the kids practicing for Pop Warner football. What you talking about, man? It was a mess, but it was an experience. But when I made the decision, man, I just look at it as a blessing, man. Because at first, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man, I did not want. When I came out of high school, bro, I didn't want to go to college. It was more of a force on my parents. They're like, man, you need to do something. I was like, man, I'll figure it out, and God figured it out for me. But I just you think about everybody when they're young and they like, shoot, I want scholarship, man. Shoot, I just say I was blessed with the opportunity because my cousin was actually already at Morris Brown. And all he was doing was just tell coach about me, and then I just fell in the net, got caught with a blessing on getting the baseball and football opportunity. And shoot, football was cool, but I ain't even played. The moment the season started, I told coach, "You finna red shirt me, man. I'm just focus on baseball then." Cause I mean, at that point, when I'm going out there to look at film and stuff, nah, that's all right. I don't want to help out with practice. I might well go somewhere. I might well get ready for baseball season, you know.
Right.
But they ain't take my scholarship though, so yeah, I mean, it was all love. I love Morris Brown. It made me the man I am today.
Right.
But, you know,
say it with your chest.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's why I was super happy when Jackson State and Morris Brown made that partnership. I was happy about that because I got a lot of friends.
Dope.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends that went to Morris Brown and they come out with their degrees and they couldn't do nothing with it, man. So it was some bad or worse times in Morris Brown, but at the same time, it was a blessing.
Yeah, man. Like another kind of quasi inequity we see in college, just for black college baseball, is like the lack of a third assistant. Now, other sports, they have multiple assistants. They get paid a lot of money. But for baseball, for whatever reason, that third assistant don't get anything. And that third assistant is normally like a grad assistant or like a volunteer coach. And so it kind of hurts like the development of players when you got like a coach on the staff who maybe a little green or who went in the game very long or who's someone who ain't getting paid a lot. And so they don't want to stick around very long. Yeah. So how does that, boys, impact the game and impact development of players, not having that reliable third assistant around?
You stretch thin. Think about it, you got the head coach, 2 assistants, and you got 35 guys. That's 12 guys with 1 coach. You can't watch everything. You can't give the players that individual attention that they need. You know, like for instance, when we do the individual phases in fall practice, most times you got to have a group of 4 guys, and you're working for an hour, so somebody's not getting attention at some point. But if you had more coaches, well, you know, I can say, okay, my catchers are gonna be out here. Now you can say, okay, I got 2 catchers out here. Now it's 2 catchers with their position coach. Or you have two outfielders now with the outfield coach or the infield coach, and he has two infielders, shortstop, second baseman, or whatever combination, to where now they can get that more focused attention to work on the little things, you know. But we need the more coaches. It's because sometimes it'll end up being two guys working together while coach working with a coach may be working with another guy. Or it may be a situation where, like you say, you got a student assistant who's still in school, who just finished playing with these guys, so his maturity level might not be where it needs to be to really focus, and he might not really understand what he's looking at, and from a coaching standpoint, to make an adjustment or help develop a guy. So it's just the quality of the coaching if you have to have a student assistant, And then the other part of it, the volunteer assistant, if you're not in some of those major programs, where they can have a former major leaguer come back or, be a volunteer assistant like Matt Holliday is at Oklahoma State. They don't have to pay him nothing. He just chilling. Go to practice, don't be bored.
They also got Robert. They also got Robert Ventura as a coach too, Oklahoma State, former big league manager.
Right. So so that third paid assistant would really do a lot to help develop the players, and I think the team. We already getting some really good baseball. A third assistant, I think, will only just step the quality of baseball up, across the board.
Yeah, I totally agree. I honestly think baseball, it needs to start being looked at as you look at football, where you have those standard position coaches and everything. I mean, because to be honest, it's only going to improve play development and improve the program, you know. And if you can lock in and you can have these groups, because at the same time, you're trying to hold your team accountable when you only got two or three coaches, and everybody can't watch. Like you said, with the individual time and things like that, certain players won't get that time with the coach to help develop and it's go show in the game. So, like you said, an additional coach. If it's standardized to a point where okay, we saying baseball now you can have three paid coaches, or we can line something up where you can bring in that fourth, have a volunteer system like a former major league baseball player or somebody to help mentor the guys mentally and prepare them for the game. It would really be huge, just like some of this the low funding for the scholarships. It's just low funding for the programs all around.
Yeah, I mean, like Mississippi State, for an example, they won a championship last year. They only have three coaches listed on their staff. One head coach, Chris Lemons, and then two assistants. And that's the team that won the national championship last year.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So that goes to show you, like, it's kind of an imbalance to have three coaches, despite their success, having to deal with 30, 40 guys during the season.
But
Right.
also though, even though there's situations where you got teams with only two coaches, the players have to take it upon themselves too to want to make sure they get their work in, knowing that we short staff. You got to be disciplined in yourself to get your work in. You know, at this stage of the game, you don't need nobody holding your hand. You should know how to play the game. You know, but at the same time, that's all about maturity level. You got to have players that's willing to, especially in the SWAC. You got to have players willing to hold each other accountable. You got to learn how to work together. You got to learn how to know that you can go out here and work on your swing, and and trust your homeboy to see that if anything's wrong with it. In those situations, you got to want to be better. You got to go extra hard. Sometimes you got to be by yourself. In that sense, some people rely on coaches. I never did. As far as make sure I got my work in, because now if there's something I need work on or something I just feel like ain't right, I'll go to coach, talk to him. Do you see anything when I'm playing? Sometimes my dad used to videotape me, coming up. those things right there, we got all these phones and these electronics. Kids gotta take advantage of what you have. Don't hesitate to go out on YouTube and look at some of the best hitters in the game and see how they go by practicing and how they go by doing things. You got to go the extra mile to want to be a great player. You can't sit your shortfalls on because, man, we ain't had number two coaches, man. That's why we lost. We ain't had number two coaches. No, you can't. But it would be better for the program to have more coaches and more eyes on players and the player development. But as a player, you gotta want to be better. You gotta want to be great yourself. You gotta want to go out and do your research. You gotta want to videotape yourself. You gotta want to do better. Don't always put it on the coach to find your problems. You gotta rely on your teammates.
But it still come back though, Thomas. Whether the player can want to have that mindset, but somebody has to show him what to look for.
That's what I said. Like, like say me and you going doing some soft tossing. I trust you to tell me.
But I'm saying, it still takes a level of coaching for us to even get to the point to where we even had the skill to identify what we even looking at and how to adjust. So you can just be a player and have that mindset, but you still need that coaching.
Yeah. What I'm saying? With the game being like more analytical, incorporate more video into it, like that helps too. Like a player is not gonna do that more times than not. They're not gonna measure themselves in that way. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and so like having a third coach who can do that will help.
In order for you to get to that point to where you even knew what to look for to make an adjustment, somebody had to show you that. You didn't just figure it. You didn't just say, "Oh, I know this." A coach taught you that.
No, I actually was listening to my daddy lecture me for about 2 hours in the room if I went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Goddamn, that's what that was. I had to figure out something. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I learned
the solution to the third coach is to hire a whole bunch of Thomas Black niggas.
I never had that issue. My dad never said nothing to me about no sport. I never had to call that whole conversation in my life.
Man, don't let me make an error in the field. It's over.
Never.
I might make an excuse. I got some homework or something, so you can leave me alone. No.
I'm gonna tell you, my high school, man, like when I played ball, like we made an error, or somebody on the team made an error, it was recorded. Then after the game, we go in the locker room, had this like really tiny locker room, almost bigger than the broom closet. Whoever the senior was, would turn the lights out.
Oh, y'all had the lights out on
who made the error and kick the crap out of them.
Oh,
making an error. Make sure it never happened again.
That's the 90s right there.
Yeah.
That's the 90s.
And the coach allowed it too.
Oh yeah.
As long as we don't kill him, it's okay.
Yeah, coach go in the locker room like he get ready to try to wash uniforms or something. He act like he don't hear nothing. Right. You're right.
Okay,
shoot, man. I just like I said, I just try to tell all the young players, man, use the technology, use what you got. Try to see some things, try to learn the game. Learning the game is hard, is part of it. Baseball is baseball. Baseball been baseball for 100 years.
Yeah, right. Baseball never gonna change. So we gonna round out the show tonight as we kind of do every week with a blast from the past, a bedtime story, if you will.
All right.
Yeah, so we know y'all got one.
So Jackson State and Alcorn are playing this weekend. So I think it's only fitting I tell you a story about former Alcorn baseball coach, Coach Willie Rat McGowan.
Oh, no, Rat. Oh, throwback. Yeah.
Let's describe Rat for the people who don't know him at home.
Coach McGowan was old school as old school could be. Wasn't a big man in stature, but his presence was his presence, he lit up a room wherever he popped up. We would go to Alcorn to play them, and before they built the stadium, we would have to drive around and park up on the hill and walk down the hill to get to the field. Coach McGowan had like a green Toyota truck, and he would drive that bad boy down right behind the dugout, and he'll have that pipe in his mouth, and he would be smoking that pipe. He would have his uniform on with some sweatpants, like the swishy swish nylon joint.
Right.
And that would be the uniform he would wear in the dugout, and he would smoke his pipe in the dugout.
Yeah.
He made the umpire come to him. He would call time out, MC, come here.
MC, yeah, that's
the
MC.
Come here. So, and if he knew your name, he was gonna wear your name out if you was an official. You know what I'm saying? And he was gonna stall. He had his tactics, and he was gonna smoke that pipe like he was Jim Leland smoking a cigarette and doggone in Pittsburgh so well. But I remember when he started recruiting me, coach was gonna say what was on his mind. He didn't care who it was, he was gonna say what was on his mind. And he called, and he actually speak to my grandma, talked to my grandma for a minute on the phone. Then my grandma gave me the phone, and he said, "Cause like my high school baseball coaches played at Alcorn, and 3 of my high school teammates were going down there." And he said, "Look, man, what you gonna do?" Hello, man, what you gonna do? I sent you the paper, man. You gonna sign the paper or what? Coach, I don't know, man. I got offered by Jackson State. Man, you don't want to go up there. You want to come down here and be with the Rat Pack, don't you? That's what they call the team. If you play baseball at Alcorn back in the day, they call you the Rat Pack.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, I just knew that wasn't gonna be the vibe for me. I had a lot of respect for Coach McGowan. I loved him to death. Every time I saw him after I was done playing, he would always say, "Oh, something extremely explicit. You should have brought your down here, boy." It was all love, a lot of respect for him, man. He always had some good teams. They played hard for him. They loved him, man. He took care of them boys down there. My homeboys talk very highly about Coach McGowan, man, how he took care of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He got sick, and passed a couple of years ago, man. Sad to hear that, but I'm glad I had a chance to, had an opportunity to, cross paths with him.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great experience in my life, man. I'm just grateful for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Thomas Bryan, you got a hotel story somewhere.
Oh man, hotel story. No. I'll tell you what. My first experience, like I said, let's go back to when I first got down there and walked on the field. And like you said, that field was just y'all practice field at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fall ball. We was going out there working out, man. I'm telling you, it was rocks, everything outside of that field. But the field was in perfect position as you come into the school. People don't know that when you first come into Jackson State, there used to be a baseball field right there before you saw the Jackson State sign.
Mm-hmm.
When you come down Lynch Street, that's the first thing you saw, baseball field, then you turn into the school.
Mm-hmm.
Not an engineering building sitting on.
Huh?
The engineering building sitting on the big home.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first got there, first couple practices, I was just like, man, we ain't really water the field, we ain't really do too much, I was like, this ain't it. I said, I'm gonna lose my teeth before we start the season out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the room. When it was after I did individual, I went to the room. I called Bill Marbert. I was like, what type of field we played on, man? I was like, if it's anything y'all getting ready to throw away as far as any type of utilities, any type of field equipment, anything you got that y'all gonna throw away, please, hey, shoot it down here. I appreciate it a million. Like I said, I want, we used to doing this type of stuff. So he was like, all right, I got you. So I come on for Christmas. He was like, call your coach, tell him I got something for him. Call Coach Johnson. I was like, Coach Johnson, Mr. Marvin said he gonna donate some stuff to the field. Coach Johnson came up, Coach Johnson, my coach and him was roommates. So he came up, stayed a couple of days. He brought the truck over. He just started telling his boys, hey, start throwing some shovels in there and throw some rakes in there. Coach Johnson looked at me. He kept on piling stuff in there. Threw some mule mix in there, everything. We had everything we can possibly need to fix the field. And then we came back after Christmas, and me and Coach, we already had everything assigned and everything. We started working on the field, getting it together. And I think within that 1 year, we turned that field around to actually play on that field. In 1 year.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we played at University Park our senior year.
Right.
And then we played at Smith Will.
Yeah. So, that was like one of the first things that I was proud to be able to bring to the school, even though it was before we even played a game. That was my connection that, I was glad to be able to give that to us, where we could actually start feeling like we was taking care of our field. Because before then, we didn't work on no field after practice.
No, we didn't.
No. And then from that point on, we worked on the field. We started watering the field. We raked the field. Then, in between games when we were playing, we had the field ready to go, just like a brand new park. Ever since that time. So that was pretty cool for me to be able to turn our practice field into our playing field within 1 year. So that's my story time.
All right. I got one. Just for the spirit of Mardi Gras. For the spirit of Mardi Gras.
No.
For the spirit of Mardi Gras, I got to tell this story.
I know what's coming.
I got to tell this story.
So this is the one I think you're going to talk about?
Yes, brother, it is.
Oh.
This was the whole team. We went down, man. We told Coach. We were like, Coach Johnson, man, we finna go down to New Orleans. Coach like, all right, y'all got practice. Y'all off, but y'all got practice in this. Y'all got practice. It was a Sunday. Yeah, you got practice Sunday. We was like, all right, cool. It's spring break here. All right, so we all get down. Everybody piled up in an awesome up. We took the Diamante. I forgot what Put had. Put had his truck, had the F-150. We all go down to New Orleans and had the time of our lives. We went down there. I think we stayed at the Jury Inn, man. We was right up the street from Bourbon. We didn't go to sleep. We used our room to crash. You took the 2-hour power nap, and then you got up and you went back out there. So I think we was all just sleep deprived. I know I was, but of course I'm the one driving. So we headed back. It's Sunday. I think practice started like at 1:00. We get up by 8, man. We headed out. Man, this is when GPS wasn't out.
Right.
And I don't think y'all, if you ever left New Orleans, this is very easily can happen to you too, so don't judge. But so we driving, and so of course I'm the leader of the pack, man. I'm sleeping, I'm grabbing a Red Bull, trying to drive. So we driving about an hour. We driving about 2 hours. We go across a long bridge. Kenji in the back seat just getting sick. Kenji and Water and Bridget just don't miss. So we drive, and next thing I know, we ain't seen no Welcome to Mississippi sign. So we like, come on, what's going on? By the time it's getting about 11:30, and we rolling up in the what? Baton Rouge. I'm saying, man, we in Baton Rouge, man. Man, you talking about some boys were flying, and I think we probably made it. We made it to practice about 1:30. It was a gang of us. It was about 10 of us. It was Wacko too. Wacko, we almost left Wacko down there.
Man,
Yeah, we almost left Wacko down there.
man.
Wacko act like he ain't never been nowhere. We almost left him
Man.
there. But man, we showed up about 1:30. Coach just looked at us.
Man,
he
they was
said,
on the practice field when we drove by.
yes.
We
The
honked
one-
the horn.
Yeah.
The one time I don't go.
You didn't go.
The one time.
Bruh, man,
Some was like, nah, bro, don't do that. I don't know what made me not go, but that's the only thing I didn't do with y'all all the time we was in school.
Yep.
That's the one
You
trip I
didn't
didn't
go.
go on.
Man, we get out there, man. Coach Johnson make us run poles for days, man. I don't think he didn't get a chance to put our cleats on, man. He's like, y'all might.
Man.
Last one.
Yeah.
The Alabama State Q lock-in party.
Yeah, we creeped out on that night.
Came back with a handwritten note. You missed curfew. See you at BP.
Man.
All right, here's a story in the vein of what's also happened in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell this one? Are we gonna get in trouble for this? Is the school gonna get shut down for this story I'm gonna tell?
I mean, we may be all right.
All right.
Man, look how long we've been out of school, man. Come on now.
Never know, man.
We ain't throwing balls at
man.
nobody.
They watching, man. So we had a scheduled game in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And so we drive down there. The game gets rained out.
Man,
we
drove
the key part. It rained the entire ride down.
It was a hurricane, man. Something.
It was a monsoon. We're gonna put it that way. It was a monsoon. It rained the whole time. We thinking, man, we ain't gonna play today. But we kept on pushing. We got down there, game canceled. So our coaches, I didn't say our coaches, but like one coach.
Yes, be very direct.
He wasn't going back to Jackson right away.
Yeah.
So he had the bright idea to say, hey, like, we got a bunch of 20-something-year-old kids. Let's take them down to Bourbon Street.
So in the uniform.
In our uniform. So we drive to the bus driver, following orders, drives down to Bourbon Street, and the bus stops in front of, let me say this, an adult entertainment facility. You could like see the performers like doing that thing outside, and like the whole entire bus like tilted over from people from one side of the bus onto the other side of the bus looking out the window.
Yeah,
that's how mesmerized we were. Yeah. And so everybody going crazy, like, are we really gonna do this? Are we gonna get out the bus and explore?
Get off the bus?
And then Coach Salt like said, "Don't get in any trouble. Let us go."
Mind you, he gave us spring break money too. He gave us that spring break money too.
Yeah, he gave us money too. Another bright idea. So, like, we got guys going all over the place. Once again, in our uniforms, we are identifiable. We represent the school and our parents and everything. People know who we are. Mm-hmm. And so, let's just say, thank God nobody got arrested.
Everybody
some guys did some things that weren't supposed to do. Too. But, you know, they get in trouble for it.
Yeah. But remember, it was
never forget that time, those hours we spent down on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Exploring things.
And remember, it was calmer too, because what happened on the way back? The bus broke down.
Yeah. The best part of it was on the way back to Jackson, the bus breaks down.
On the bridge.
On the bridge.
On the water.
Mm-hmm.
On the water. So we had to call back to Jackson to have a bus sent from Jackson to us. We didn't get that bus till about like the wee hours of the morning. Mm-hmm. So we had to get on the brand new bus and drive all the way back to Jackson to the campus at about 4 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah, it was late. It was late. Man.
Long day.
Yeah. Had to go to class the next day, which a lot of us did not go to class.
On one of them Klein tour buses.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, and what was it, man? Because y'all remember Phelps was trying to breathe out the sunroof, man, because that was like the only thing we could open or something like that. Something with the air
Yeah, the AC
pressure.
never
The
went out.
pressure went out on the bus,
So like
man. They
guys were like
couldn't open
really
up the
couldn't open
door.
the side windows. They had to resort to like opening the hatch that's
Mm-hmm.
above the seats to try to get some fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
bananas in there, man.
Yeah, it was, man. Yeah,
It
there's
was,
nothing but karma, man. Yeah.
yeah, like I said, nobody got arrested, nobody got suspended. We all came back safe and sound
Just
with
another
memories
great
forever.
memory of HBCU baseball, man.
No, that was just
All fun.
that was just that was
That was bad judgment.
yeah,
That's a
that was
bad.
bad judgment by the
No,
That's,
adult.
man, that was
that's a
great,
bad
man.
call, but
We'll never forget that for the rest of our life. That was
You
one of our
right.
best times
man,
ever.
you,
But as a
you
fan now, that was bad judgment by an adult.
yes, man. We knew before we left Mississippi that we want to go play. It was raining so
Right.
hard.
It was raining the whole time. It was like, what we going down here? Oh, we're going to play big man.
Oh, hell.
How, coach? How? Oh, we played all right enough, but it wasn't the game we played.
Nah, one of them game. One of them game. He thought he was saving the money on that hotel. That's what that was. He saving the money for the hotel. You trying to go to the casino? Ooh.
I think a little bit too much, man. A little bit too much. Yeah, man. But like, that's just a taste of like stories and situations that we've been through
We got
in our
hundreds.
college baseball careers at JSU. There are plenty more of those stories. Well, not going to like New Orleans,
Yeah.
but like similar stuff. But yeah, man, it was a good show tonight, boys. I think.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it.
Me too.
A lot of really important topics. Really good explanations about all you guys. A job well done.
Mm-hmm.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for giving me this opportunity, man. Love y'all for real.
Great. Just saying.
Thomas only cussed once, which is good.
Hey, man, that's probably my first one.
Mm.
You right.
Right?
We gotta put a count. We gotta put a count up there.
Nah, I'm all right. Hey, mom and pop's watching. I gotta be careful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. You gotta respect the elders.
I got kids watching, man. Everybody always watching me. I got nonprofit, man. Anything for the kids. They all watching me. I gotta always be on my P's and Q's, man.
Yeah, of course. Man, next week, man, we probably have to talk about some of the pranks we used to pull on each other, man.
Oh.
We might have to talk about some of them pranks, man.
Oh man.
That was one ritual we used to do that really got on a lot of people's skin. We're gonna say that for later though.
Yeah. Yeah. We were telling why the dog pound's called the dog pound.
Welcome to the dog pound.
Yeah. See y'all next week, man.
All right, bro.
All right, fellas, take it easy.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Remember, subscribe, Facebook, Twitter,
comment, share, all of that.
Yeah, on YouTube too. We everywhere, man.
Yeah. Video drops tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and Spotify.
Check us out.
All right, peace.
All right, yo.
Public figure.
All right, Black.
Yeah.